The Gemara says in Masechta Soita, "Ein Adam over Aveira ela imkei nichnas beiruch shtus." What's the proof? So the Gemara says there's a pasuk in Parshas Nasa, and it talks about a woman who's suspected of adultery and being unfaithful to her husband. And so when in describing this woman, who whether or not she committed adultery, certainly acted inappropriately. In other words, the suspicion hasn't come out of nowhere. She acted inappropriately, and the question only is she actually guilty of adultery or not? So the words used by the pasuk to describe is ish ki sista ishtai, a man whose wife sista. What is the word sista? Sista means goes off the way. The word sista is related to the word shtus. Hebrew, it's related to the word shtus. So why would a woman go off the way? It's because of a shtus, because of a foolishness, because of idiocy, insanity. So from there we see that someone who does a sin, it's an insanity. So the Rebbe asks a question on this. The Rebbe asks, if you want to prove that every sin is insanity, why are you taking a sin like adultery, which is a very heavy sin? Because then, and say, oh, from here we see that every sin is insanity. No, a person will say, adultery is insanity. But waking up late for shul, let's say that's normal. Adultery is insanity, but indulging on something, or getting angry, or whatever, not giving tzedakah, that's not insanity. So why do we bring? Why is the proof for this concept come from a husband-wife relationship? The Rebbe explains something very profound. He says the husband-wife relationship, whenever one of the sides is guilty of an infraction against the other. Let's say husband comes home and gets angry and screams at his wife. Let's say one spouse is dishonest with the other, lies, whatever may be about the finances. So one may look at that infraction and say, well, lying is a bad thing. Lying is a bad thing. Getting angry is a bad thing. Being nasty is a bad thing, or whatever else it might be. But you'd be missing the point. Is the point here lying? If someone confronts the guy and says, "Why did you lie to your wife?" What's the problem here? Is it the problem that the person lied, or is the problem that he lied to his wife?
His wife.
It's both. But primarily because it's to his wife. In other words, lying is bad. But the issue isn't so much lying. The issue is, who did you lie to? Husband and wife are supposed to be one unit. And any time that a husband does something against his wife, or vice versa, it's a betrayal of the marriage. Or to put it in different ways, we're supposed to be one. At this moment, when I lied to my spouse, I wasn't one. I separated. I wasn't married. I forgot my marriage. And that's the worst thing, not the lie, but that you forgot the marriage. The same thing exists on two levels. We can look and say, what was the particular thing that you did? How bad is that thing that you did? How bad is it to lie? But that would be missing the point. Or how bad is it to get angry, or any other of these examples that we can give. Or even, one spouse says to the other, pick up something for me from the store. I forgot. How bad is it to forget? But when you forgot, you weren't married. I don't mean that in a literal sense. And the same thing is in terms of our relationship with Hashem. Whenever we do an Avera, one way of looking at it, how bad is it to eat a cheeseburger? How bad is it not to keep Shabbos? How bad is it to do a small thing? What's a small Avera? Chves. Okay, so there we say, this is a big Avera, this is a small Avera, this is a middle Avera. And we know in Halacha we have this terminology. There are the mitzvahs kalos, the light mitzvahs, and mitzvahs chamuras, and the heavy mitzvahs. But then we're told, don't go, don't go and judge mitzvahs, which one's light and which one's important, which one's more important, which is less important. Why shouldn't I? If this one's more important, this one's less important, why shouldn't I be going and weighing them against each other? And the answer is because we're married. And therefore, when I do an Avera, when I go against God's will, either because He told me don't do something and I went and I did it, or vice versa, He tells me do something, I don't do it, either way is the same idea. The main thing isn't what I did wrong, the main thing is that I betrayed my marriage. I betrayed my relationship. And that's why the Gemara brings a proof from because it's not only of the adulterous woman, because it's deeper than that. It's explaining why. Not only that every time a person does a sin, it's foolishness. It's explaining why it's a foolishness. Because you're married.